8:30 p.m. Until then, we're going to talk with Hall of Famer Ethan Wade. Yeah, two-time Hall of Famer, as you said. So how'd you discover free play, Ethan?
It was it was the summer of 2016, and my wife, you've met her before.
Yes, she came out
She
to Free Play Richardson the other day to support.
yeah, she works up in Richardson. She works up at the State Farm campus hub, whatever. It's I don't know, like maybe 5-10 miles north of where Richardson is. She just kind of stumbled across it one weekend, and she knows me. She knows that I love arcade games. Growing up as a kid, and she's like, "Oh, let's let's go here on some random weekend," and that's kind of how it all got started.
Which one was it? Sorry.
It was free for it was Richardson. It was the is the actually was the 4th of July. It
The
was the
mothership.
4th of July of 2016.
Okay. And what were your impressions initially?
I fell in love the second I walked in. It was everything I imagined an arcade looking like, back in the 80s and 90s. Because like when I grew up,
Hmm.
I was born in 1992. Arcades really didn't exist. At least, not the way it was in the 80s and the 90s. The neon and the arcade stand, the arcade games and people standing up and putting their quarters up and stuff like that. We had ticket redemption games and things of that sort. So uh, when I saw all that and I saw all these games that I hadn't heard of or I hadn't seen in 20 years, it was it's hard to say it was like going back in time because, like I said, I didn't really have an idea of what arcades were like back then.
Right, and I feel like that is a good description of Free Play Richardson, which is like you would imagine an arcade back in the 80s being, because it's not. As someone who remembers those arcades in the 80s, that's not actually what Free Play Richardson is. It's close, but it's more like the arcade movie montage of an 80s arcade, because back in the day, like whatever the popular game of the day was, whatever the money earner was, you would have multiple copies of that game. So I remember walking into arcades and finding three Ms. Pac-Mans right next to each other, and three Galagas right next to that, and maybe Galaga 3 beyond that. Like whatever the money earners were, you saw multiple copies of it. You saw, you know, like people cutting the corners that they always do and they always have. Um, that was sort of typical of the 80s arcades. Um, Whereas Free Play Richardson keeps the look of an 80s arcade, and yet it it just has a who's who of actual great arcade games.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to the first time I ever entered Richardson, of all games, the first game that I like caught my eye and I was like drawn to of all games was Smash TV, because I played the Super Nintendo port. I won't say religiously, but I played it a lot because I had a Super Nintendo and that was one of the games I had. So
Hmm.
I knew that the arcade game existed. I'd never seen it. I'd never played it. So
It's so much
when
better too.
yeah, it is way better. And when I saw that, I said to myself, it's like, okay, this place is legit. If they have a Smash TV cabinet, they're 100% legit, which
Yeah,
is
I'm relatively sure every single. That's just one of the tentpole games of free play that's in every single location. So, Smash TV, Super Turbo, and Super Turbo wasn't even one of those games initially, but Smash TV was. Mortal Kombat 2, Ms. Pac, the fast one, of course, things like that. So yeah, it's
yeah.
it's it's definitely a great game, and one that has a lot of potential to like grind out and actually become talented at. It's possible to beat that game in one credit. It is.
Yes, yes, it is entirely possible. It is not something I would recommend anyone ever doing. It is I probably spent a good 45 minutes just the first time I visited playing that game, and I was like, man, I I definitely don't remember this game being this hard, but I fell in love.
This is General's first incorrect response of the day right here, saying slow Pac is better.
Oh,
Disagreeing with
oh
that, in
no.
addition to everybody, is the creator of Pac-Man, who hasn't gone back to the speed of the slow Pac-Man since. Um,
I I have not played. I don't think I've ever played as Slow Miss Pac-Man.
it
Like
is
that's the
boring.
version that is at every location is the
Yeah,
Fast Miss Pac-Man ROM.
yeah.
So
It's a beatdown for sure. It's all like Pac either way is zoning. Um, but it's just incredibly slow. Have you played Champion Edition Street Fighter 2 in Fort Worth?
I've played it a few times. It is it's it's
Tooth
very slow.
grindingly
It's
slow.
very slow
Yes, that's what it's
compared to
like.
SD.
That's what it's like with Ms. Pac. Um,
Uh
it's a beatdown for sure. Like I mean, it's better than Pac-Man in every possible way because of the improvements that they made on it, like just new mazes, the bouncing fruit, all the things that make Ms. Pac better than the original Pac-Man are there. It really got sublime when they sped it up. And then the Pac-Man franchise hasn't looked back since. Every single one of them has been that quick pace.
yeah.
Yes, kitty. Yes, kitty. Yes, kitty. All right. So one thing you didn't mention there is pinball.
Yes. I'm trying to think back when what was the first game of pinball that I played, because living in Fort Worth and still living in Fort Worth, driving to Richardson, you know 4 or 5 years ago, that was a quite a trek for me, and you know dedicating that time to drive up there, and then the $10 and plus tax to get in. It was a lot. So I think I really got into pinball when I started going to Arlington, when Arlington opened,
Mm-hmm.
and they had their initial lineup of like
It's like
roller
10, I want to say.
games, and yeah, roller games, Whirlwind, one of the Williams amusement park pinball games. It's like, I think it's Cyclone.
Yes,
It's
yes.
one of
With the
those.
that's the one with the fan, I believe, right? No, Whirlwind has the fan.
Yeah,
Whirlwind has the
yeah, that
fan.
was Whirlwind,
Yeah,
and
but I know Cyclone was there.
yeah, a couple of assorted other games. I think that's when I really started getting into playing pinball. And uh, about a few months after that's when Pinball Monday started, and I kind of just went on a whim
Mm-hmm.
on the first Pinball Monday. I was like, oh, I'll try this out. I'll see what it's about. And uh, I, you know, fast forward, almost 3 years later, it's become one of my main hobbies.
Yeah, no, I think of you as a pinball player. I think I've seen you at a puzzle night before that, things like that. But yeah, Pinball Monday, and particularly. And I want to reset because we haven't really gotten into what is the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is the Free Play Hall of Fame is something that tracks. We have a meta game where basically you get points for playing in a tournament like Pinball Monday, putting in a close crop, doing a scavenger hunt, anything that involves playing games in putting up a high score, playing games in a public way, playing with people, playing in events. It much more emphasizes participation over victories, although you do get more points for a victory than just a participation. But it's flattened to a point where if you want to be someone who plays and everything, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame over someone who wins everything. Now, usually what happens, and this is by design on my part at least, is if you play all the things, you learn to play all the things, and you become a threat to win all the things. And even though Ethan Wade had went to Pinball Monday, not having a lot of experience in pinball, within the first five Pinball Mondays, you had won. Is that correct?
I want to say that's correct. It was Pinball Monday started May of, correct me if I'm wrong, May of 2018.
Man, I don't know because that it feels like one giant day. Basically, my entire employment at Free Play feels like the longest day in the world, only passed up by after employment, where that was literally one day where I never slept.
Yeah, I'm gonna if anybody wants to double check and make sure, I want to say it was May of 2018 was the first Pinball Monday. I want to say I won in September of that year. I really should remember this because it was a very very long night. I remember that much because
Hmm.
uh man, that was yeah, it was a long night. Anybody that's ever played in Pinball Monday or pinball tournaments in general, you know they can go for several hours at
Yeah.
a time.
The projected time on a Pinball Monday is 4 hours. That's really what I'm looking for. Is it to start at 7 and end, you know, hopefully right before 11. Now, sometimes things happen to extend that. For example, if two really good players have a knockdown drag out match where no one is the clear victor for an hour, that can certainly put you back. And that's been what's caused many games of or many Pinball Monday events to extend towards midnight. But for the most part, it does finish around close. You're still in for 4 hours, although if you go to other formatted tournaments, yeah, you could be. And this is something that does not happen at free play. You could be in for a 15-hour tournament or something absurd like that, where you're just exhausted. Um, yeah. Also, when the top 50 players in the world show up, and General's right, and that has happened. We've had Colin come out. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Colin McAlpine.
mhm. And also, there's been I don't do you remember the two traveling players from Missouri that came out?
It
Sunshine, I
was
want to say was one of, yeah, and
Sunshine.
somebody
I can't
else.
remember her last name, but yeah, she was a excellent player, a great woman. I remember she hit like 14 million or something on roller game, which is it's not easy. It's kind of one of those games that if you get like 6 or 7 million, that's a really good game. 14 million, that's like an arcade record.
Yeah, well, it back in year one of free play in the Summer Nights event, if you would have hit 21 million, they would have given you $500 cash. Like
Oh wow.
that's how good of a score that is. So
Yeah,
14 million in competition with no extra balls. Yeah, it's great, great.
yeah, she was a
Adam
really good
McKinney and
player.
Sunshine Bond were the two players.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Yeah, Adam and Sunshine. Yeah.
And that was the first time that Pinball Monday actually extended past 11 o'clock because they were really good, and plus we had all of our good players. It just made for a longer experience. But the thing I love about the three strikes format and the sheer amount of tables that Free Play Arlington can throw at it is that we can have, because everybody's getting eliminated concurrently. You can add 100 players to that tournament, and we still get done around 11 o'clock.
yeah,
We just
yeah.
we just use more tables. The end.
Yeah, yeah. That was that's one of the really cool things about Pinball Monday is that you know any given sorry, can't talk today. Any given month, you could end up playing 5 or 6 different tables in a span of a night. You could go from something like Lethal Weapon 3, which depending on how you view it, is a really fun table where it's the worst table ever. To Guardians of the Galaxy, to classics like Attack from Mars, or back then when we had like Bride of Pinbot and Whirlwind. All these classic tables that you probably wouldn't ever see on an arcade floor in the year of 2018, 2019 in the condition that they were in.
Hmm.
And it was a really great learning experience. Like just starting out, it was a really great learning experience learning how to play excuse me, learning how to play these tables, and learning kind of the deeper intricacies of playing pinball.
How much practice do you put in on pinball, and do you do it all at free play?
Yes, it's all done at free play. I have some I have I have some access to virtual tables, which is the pinballers you've talked about it. It's not the same.
No, you could
It's
basically learn what ramp shots activate what scores, but not necessarily how to do it in reality.
Yeah, it's not the same. You don't have that mechanical kinesthetic feel of
Hmm.
nudging a table to do something like that.
Yeah, it's also
And
much easier. Like Michael Beltran's put 10 billion on Attack from Mars and virtual pinball, so clearly it doesn't count.
Yeah, yeah, and I definitely don't have the resources or the time or the really want to put in the effort to go buy a pinball machine and either fix it, restore it, any of that kind of stuff. I don't, I'm not that mechanically inclined. I'm not going to drop a few $1,000s on a pinball machine that may or may not work, and if it doesn't work, have to troubleshoot and deep dive into it and those sorts of things.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's what I like to call Matt and Andrew's job.
yes, yeah. God bless Matt and Andrew. I miss them. They're both great techs. They do great work at every Pinball Monday. Anytime you're on the floor, they'll always come by and be like, "Hey, how you doing?
Hmm.
Is everything working?" And yeah, they're great people. I hope to see them real soon.
Yeah, don't let me let you off the interview without asking Penelope's question. That's of course how we end every interview. Um, let's see. You appeared on the Free Play official podcast. One of the very few players who's appeared on the Free Play official podcast. What do you remember about that day?
That's right. That was the 2019 Texas Pinball Festival, and that was a great time. If people haven't really been in the know, this year's Texas Pinball Festival was canceled
Hmm.
due to COVID-19, like a lot of things were. I was really looking forward to going to Texas Pinball Festival to see, all my pinball player friends out there that I get to see at TPF. Maybe get to be part of the next podcast that was getting recorded there.
Hmm. And we did
2019,
get a table, but like you said, canceled.
yeah, 2019 was actually my first Texas Pinball Festival. Before getting into pinball as a hobby, I had heard about it, kind of in passing that there was this festival that was held up in like Frisco or Garland or somewhere in Dallas. I didn't really pay
Same city,
attention,
really, if you think about it.
but after I got into pinball, that was, I heard, 2019 was coming around, and all these things were, all these pinball developers were going to be at TPF, Jersey Jack, Stern, Spooky Pinball was going to be there. So it was about January or so that I bought my tickets, and uh, it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. It's If you've never been to Texas Pinball Festival, like even just as a spectator or someone that just even remotely interested in pinball, it's a great experience to go.
Yeah, for me, it's 400 machines on free play. You can't always play the machine that you want because you might want to play the newest release, and there might be two or three of them on the floor, which has a line around it. Like I never played. It wasn't until I had a vendor pass and got in on the after hours session that I ever got to play the game Wizard of Oz. That was always like not the Holy Grail, but a game, a Jersey Jack Wizard of Oz. I wanted to play it, and I never could because the line was. I was not going to wait for 3 hours at TPF. So sometimes you'll get ridiculous lines like that around specific machines. But if you just go there and want to play some pinball, there's hundreds of different machines, and there's always many of them that are open that you can jump on and have a new experience or have an old experience. I do recommend it whenever TPF comes around.
Yeah, kind of go off that the story about finding an opportunity to play Wizard of Oz. I somehow lucked out in playing Jersey Jack Pirates of the Caribbean because they
Hmm.
had, I think it had just released recently, or was going to be released in the very near future. And Jersey Jack had a couple of tables set up just to kind of display it and show this is what the game is, that kind of stuff. And I somehow lucked out after recording that podcast with you and Austin Smith.
Hmm.
I was somehow able to like find time to go play Pirates of the Caribbean for the first time, and yeah, it was a great experience. And yeah, 400 other tables on all on free play. You can find just about anything from any era and have a great time. See games that you've never heard of, or games that you remember growing up and you haven't seen in 20 or 30 years. It's a great experience.
Hmm. Now you're not in the Hall of Fame just because of pinball. What events do you like going to when it comes to free play? What do you how did you make it to the Hall of Fame?
Uh, yeah, well, if you ask me, it's by sheer luck because I don't feel like I am just, this amazing player that, wins Tuesday night fights, week
That's
after
not how the Hall of
week.
Fame works though. That's just
Yeah,
not the way we do things.
yeah, we've established that's not how it works.
Hmm.
It's mostly just for me, I just wanted to, go try something new and go hang out with some friends and have fun. And from there, it just kind of expanded from there. Like, one of the things that I've actually really taken a liking to is puzzle night.
Hmm.
Like, I think one of the first puzzle nights I went to was Magical Drop 3 at Richardson.
Hmm.
And I had heard of Magical Drop 3. I think I might have played it once in like some random Neo Geo that was at like a local putt putt or something. And it, it was a lot of fun. I was a kid and mashing up colors. Oh, that's cool. Well, all right, yeah, sure. And I remember going up there and Dylan Smith, who is somehow has all this knowledge in that big brain of his. He taught me he taught me how to play Magical Drop 3 and like the ins and outs and patterns that are sent when you do combos and all this other stuff that it opened my eyes to like, whoa, there's more to puzzle games than just matching colors and lights and sounds and all that. There's actually really really deep rule sets that go into playing these games. And
Hmm.
it kind of expanded from there. Like I started going to more puzzle nights. uh I got into Tuesday night fights just kind of on a whim. Like, that's a random Tuesday. It's I don't have anything else going on. I'll see what's going on Tuesday night fights, and I'll look it up and I'll see Kizuna Encounter. What in the world is that? Yeah, sure, I'll go play
It's
that.
cross tag battle, of course.
Yeah, yeah, and it just kind of expanded from there. Like, it's one of those things that of I just want to go have fun with my friends, go play a game, and just kind of forget about everything for a few hours.
Are you one of the ones who appreciates the format, the program format of Tuesday Night Fights?
Yes, it's one of those things that unless unless you go into a game that like knows what they're doing, like Match or Melee, you're gonna have people that you know have an idea of what they're doing, what to do, uh, stuff like that. Like if you're playing King of Fighters games, you have I call him SNK specialist, like John Cow.
Hmm.
He's a really good just in general SNK game player, and he knows a lot about
We should
the
be
King of
talking to
Fighters
him next week
games.
in this spot, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was my partner for I think it might have been KOF 11 or it might have been KOF 2002.
Mhm.
It's one of the KOF games. But he was giving me tips like, all right, if you're playing this character and this character and this character, you do this, this, and this.
Mhm.
And even if it's just a game that you've never heard of and you're just mashing buttons, it's always fun to have just a slight deeper understanding of the game and kind of learning from that. The next time you see it pop up on the free play floor, you're like, oh, I've played that before. I'll try it, and you know kind of go from there. Learn more games, get better at the games, and maybe win a Tuesday night fight here or there.
Mhm. It is it's meant to be the path that you can grow from. Like you basically get assigned a mentor. Like that's the concept is someone is there and someone is invested in you as a new player being just a little bit better, and therefore you don't get the nightmare scenario, which is if you're the worst player in the tournament, then you get seeded against the best player in the tournament and you get annihilated and you don't know what just happened. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you can earn that experience, but you have to earn that via winning against someone else who is just as new as you are, and you have your own mentor to be like, yeah, this is the button you should focus on right now at this level, and this is why. Or hopefully that's how it works for you.
Yeah.
John's a great person to have as a partner in Tuesday Night Fights too.
Yeah, he's just really good at fighting games in general. I would say it's him, Ray Upshaw, Dylan Smith. They're all very good at just the basics, the fundamentals,
Hmm.
and
You hear that,
like
Arthur? Ray Upshaw, good at fighting games.
don't let him hear him that I said that. He might get a his ego might get too big. But yeah, like just learning the basics and learning the fundamentals, like that can get you so far in like every fighting game. Like you don't have to learn how to do these big combos, or learn how to do all these special moves. It's just you're in this situation. What do you do?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
that's that's later. The games start as paper rock scissors.
yeah,
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 it's on the most fundamental level, fighting games are paper rock scissors. There's a move that is pressed, or there is an action that happens, and then there is something that beats it, and there is something that extends the situation to the next thing, the tie in paper rock scissors, and there's something that loses outright. And once you start to understand why that is true, and the older fighting games, the SNK games, um, and Super Turbo, of course, like they really put that on display early.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what have you So Magical Drop 3, is that your favorite puzzle game that you play?
I would say it's up there.
Mhm.
It's that, and Chris, you're probably you're not gonna like this answer, but Dr. Mario.
How dare you, sir? No, I don't care.
I
It's fine.
know.
It's fine.
I'm sorry. I'll leave now. But no, I grew up playing Dr. Mario on the NES, so it's one of those games that I won't say that I'm great at, but it's like comfort food. Anytime I see Dr. Mario in like the Play Choice 10 at Denton or Arlington, like I'll always hop on and play a few rounds of Dr. Mario because it's simple, and at the same time it's once you start building up to the higher levels of things that you can do in Dr. Mario, it actually becomes a really interesting game to play. Now, getting to that point, it's its own journey, because there's a lot of things that you have to like learn in playing Dr. Mario, like drop speed, and how to plan ahead and how to make combos and stuff like that. It's
Yeah, it's not the most intuitive of puzzle
no,
games out there.
it's yeah, that's probably the thing I would say is have it going it's going against is it's not beginner friendly, I would say.
Hmm.
But it's if you want to put in that time to play it, it's fun to play.
Now, what about on the pinball side? What's your favorite pinball table? We got
Ah, man, that's like
Okay, top three if it's that hard.
I was gonna say that's like choosing
You
a
know,
favorite
it
child.
doesn't have to be Sophie's choice. You can tell me a couple
Yeah.
if you need.
Uh, Top three, I would have to go with Attack from Mars. Attack
Hmm.
from Mars is just it's a classic. It's probably, I would say, one of the simplest, but at the same time one of the deepest pinball games that you could play. Like
Why
it's very
attack
simple.
over Medieval Madness?
Uh, I would see. The thing is, for me, they're more or less interchangeable.
I mean,
Outside
they're
of
sister tables, so
Yeah,
it's not.
outside of a slightly different layout on each table, they're more the excuse me, they're more or less the same. There's slightly different rule sets for each table, but you have your orbits, you have your ramp shots,
Mhm.
you have your shot in the center that scores you big points, and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I think I like Attack from Mars more over. I think the theme just works better for me. Maybe I just like
Like
the
the kitschy
the
sci-fi over the kitschy medieval theme.
yeah, the
You're more
50s
Star Wars than Lord of the Rings, is what
Lord
you're
of the
telling me?
Rings. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I like the B movie science sci-fi aspect of Martians are attacking the Earth.
It does pair very well with the Tim Burton Mars Attacks movie from the era too. So
Yeah.
that's a good double feature if you want to play Attack from Mars and then watch Mars Attacks, or get the DVD of Mars Attacks and try and watch the Martian language version.
I didn't know that existed, huh? Might
Yeah.
might have to might have to do that one weekend. Uh,
Hack,
geez,
hack, hack, hack,
two.
hack, hack, hack. That's great. Um,
See, two more tables, man. Uh, I always have a soft spot. This is gonna sound kind of weird, but I always have a soft spot for oh, what was I gonna say? I always have a soft spot for Black Knight Sword of Rage.
mhm.
I don't know if it's. I would say it's a decent table. It's Stern's take on Black Knight and Black Knight 2000. They do a decent job at it. It's not the same as I would it's not the same as
There's
playing
a
like Black Knight
lot of
2000.
caveats for your favorite table here.
I I know, but I have a soft spot for the Black Knight tables in general.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me.
So okay, but I mean, which one's your favorite Black Knight? We actually have them all at Free Play.
My favorite's Black Knight 2000, but
Hmm.
I have not seen Black Knight 2000 on the free play floor in a very long time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if I,
I like the
2000's
classic Williams sounds of that table.
yeah. Uh Black Knight 2000 is my favorite, but if I have a choice between playing no Black Knight and Black Knight Sword of Rage, I'll take Black Knight Sword of Rage.
Hmm. What about Mortal Kombat? Are you a Mortal Kombat fan? Because
Uh
that game and Black Knight Sword of Rage are actually linked in the voice.
oh yeah, Steve Ritchie. Yeah.
Not only that, but
I've
he's quoting himself. He's doing a bad impression of Shao Kahn, which is weird because he is the voice of Shao Kahn. I'm not sure how he forgot how to do the voice.
Uh, I I'm not a big Mortal Kombat 2 player.
Hmm.
I was, uh my parents were very anti playing violent video games for a
Mortal
very long
Kombat's not
time.
that
So,
violent. It's merely disemboweling people.
yeah, and decapitations
Hmm.
and ripping people's heads off, stuff like it's
And friendship. And
you're right.
friendship.
You're
Hmm.
and friendship, you're right. Very family friendly, entirely wholesome.
Hmm.
I started getting into Mortal Kombat with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Like there was a pizza place down the street from where I lived as a kid that had the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And anytime I visited, like with a friend or going to a birthday party or something, I'd always drop a couple quarters in to play. I was not very good at it, but I mean, who was as like a 9-year-old playing a arcade games. But like it just like that experience just kind of stuck with me, and I remember I think it was the 25th anniversary party that Arlington had for Mortal Kombat, and they had Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on like side by side in like the
Yes.
main
And the
the main
blood-filled
area.
pinata.
Yeah, the blood-filled pinata. Yeah, that was a that was a great event.
Hmm.
And I just kind of went on a whim that Saturday, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play. And
Tiger,
I got
tiger,
beat by
tiger.
Octavios.
Octavio? Yeah, are you talking about Winston?
Yeah, Winston. I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah.
The 8-year-old savant of Mortal Kombat, and
Right.
it just obliterated me and like everybody that he could in Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3.
Hmm.
And like that kind of resparked my love for Mortal Kombat.
Hmm. Yeah, I asked because Black Knight Sword of Rage, like it only has Steve Ritchie, but he's quoting himself. He's saying, "You weak, pathetic fool." Like he's absolutely referencing the lines. Now I'm not sure if Steve Ritchie knows he's referencing the lines specifically like that, but he is from Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 from Shao Kahn.
I'm I'm sure he's somewhat aware. I'm sure if you ask Steve Ritchie, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but he'd probably give you like a wink or something because yeah, the Black Knight and Shao Kahn, they're more or less the same. The
Right.
voice, the speech pattern, all that. Um, where was I? Right, three top tables. Number three. Hmm. I would probably have to go with Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden is
Classic 80s
there's
table.
it's oh no Stern Iron Maiden. No,
Okay.
it's not a classic 80s table, but it's a it's refreshing in a lot of ways because Keith Elwin is the designer of the table. He's a professional pinball player. He's a world champion. Gets hired on by Stern to design pinball tables. And at first you think, oh, it's just another heavy metal 70s 80s music pinball table. Oh man, we it's a dime a dozen with Stern, but there's there's it's hard to put like it's hard to put my finger on because there's so many different things that you look at how you put it, Chris, the almost cookie cutter design of
Yeah.
Stern tables.
There
There's
there was about a year's worth of pinball monthlies where I was literally block copying the description from one Stern to the other and just changing the name of the toy in the middle, and that was it. Like if you look at
yeah
those, like April and May and June and July, like it's literally all Stern tables, and every single one of them was the description was block copied, yet still 100% accurate.
yeah, and you compare say like Guardians of the Galaxy or Metallica
Mm.
or AC/DC, you compare that to what Iron Maiden has, where Iron Maiden has, like two or three loop shots that you can, continually loop on in of itself, and or in these really weird angles, but have really satisfying payoffs to them. Like you hit this shot and you get like 60 million points because you did something really cool, and like everything about it, it's satisfying to play because you can play in so many different ways. You can focus on doing ramp shots and loops, or you can focus on doing the modes in the game, and every excuse me, every mode has is associated with different shots, and you have to do different things for every mode.
Yeah, I think I, initially I would say they broke the mold with that table, but now I'd say they just formed the new mold, and it's been interesting with Iron Maiden and with Jurassic Park later
Yeah,
to see a new generation.
yeah.
Okay, TNF this week is actually going to be Super Turbo question in the chat. UMK3, we wanted to do Mortal Kombat, however, we couldn't do it because of there's no Fightcade support for UMK 2 or 3, so it just frustratingly. Now there is, but it has no sound for UMK3, so we can't play it there, which means we sort of went back to what we can do, which is Super Turbo. It's we're just doing with what we can while we're on remote. But we'll see you on Tuesday. For you, Ethan, when did you realize you were going to be in the Hall of Fame first? Because you knew this year, like you had to have known this year. But
I honestly, I don't think I knew until the announcement of it last year, because I it wasn't really something I was focusing on. Like I
hmm
was it would have been cool to get into, but I wasn't like going into every event. It's like, okay, I gotta get a first or second, I gotta get into the Hall of Fame. So when the announcement came out, and it was last year, was the Monopoly board
yes.
theme, and I was the very last, or the very first piece, because I was 22nd or whatever number it was.
hmm
uh I was like, huh, oh, okay,
hmm
cool, that sounds, yeah. And I guess this year it's just something that I don't ever really think about it. It's just, for me, being a part of the Hall of Fame, and all this other stuff, it's secondary to just, again, having fun, participating, learning stuff, learning all these things about these games I haven't played in years, or I've never played, and just getting better in general. Like that's ultimately what free play is always meant to me, is this great big community of people that want to get better and want to socialize and want to have fun and play arcade games while doing it.
hmm Josh, if you can hear me, Journeyman Josh, both contenders that are not general say 6 or 7 in their Pokemon knowledge. 6 or 7. That was a question he started this with. So let's see. Yeah, you were on the. Did you play a game of Monopoly, like free play Monopoly with you in it?
I did not get a chance to. I think there was like a 3 or 4 hour game of Monopoly going on that night between the Coles and
Yeah,
a
pro
couple other.
tip, don't add house rules to Monopoly or it's going to take way, 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 way longer than it should.
Yeah, yeah.
Monopoly
No,
gets a bad rap for being an eternal game. It's not. I've played mini games of Monopoly in less than a half an hour, but once you start adding in free parking and double this and that, you have the game for the entire night, if not more. You have a 99-hour game of monotony.
it's it's one of those games where
But
you don't want to lose because it means you're bankrupt and you're out of money and all these things. And that's a terrible feeling. It's a
yeah,
terrible
it's
feeling
a
to play
bummer when you
Monopoly.
lose, but like you can also just start the game again. Um, So, free play Monopoly was a thing. You haven't got a chance to play it. I will say we have Monopoly. Like I have access to it. If you ever find a time where you can be within 6 feet of a human being again, we can get you a game of free play Monopoly featuring Ethan Wade, Hall of Famer.
I might have to take you up on that
Yeah,
because
yeah. Bring the
I'm
wife.
I'm I was gonna say I'm running out of things to do in this apartment.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we
that that
appreciate you
that sounds like a lot of
joining us
fun.
and tuning in and hopping on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta do what I can because like I said, free play's become one of these things that I won't say I'd be lost without free play, but it would leave a free play sized hole in my heart if free play disappeared. And yeah, I like I'm always the eternal optimist that free play is going to come out at the end of this, better and stronger than ever.
I think for those of us who are here listening and being a part of this, I think that's going to be true. Like we've all bonded even more because of this experience and having not given up on each other. Like, I feel like I'm close. I have a closer relationship with everybody whom I'm talking to and whom I'm seeing on a day in and day out basis. Not seeing, but
Yeah.
having this level of interaction. Like everything has ended and everything has gone away except we haven't. We've bonded together. We've become that team free play that we always wore shirts. We need shorts now. No shirts. Saying that we were. We absolutely are that. So, you definitely belong in the Hall of Fame. I'm proud to have you in the Hall of Fame. Um, I suspect you will be in the Hall of Fame for years and years to come.
Uh,
Your profile picture here. Tell
yes.
us about that.
All right. So this was taken during like hour 16 or 17 of the 24-hour, I guess 25-hour charity event that was held
Hmm.
this past November. I don't remember what I was commentating. I think I was just on commentary because just playing relief for a while because there's just so many people that are on there for 5 or 6 hours at a time just talking into a microphone like we are right now. And
Yeah, I can
I just
relate.
I just hopped on and I said, you know what, I'll be on here for a while. I'll commentate. I think it was Killer Queen with the Dallas Derby Devils
Oh,
that was
nice.
happening during that. So I
Yeah.
just took this photo. I was like, huh, I look halfway decent in this photo. I'll make it. And then when Ian came out with the I Love Free Play border, I was like, yeah, that works because that was taken at a free play event. I gotta support free play in any way that I can.
Very familiar looking headset.
Yes.
Um, do you remember the old timey radio broadcast? You were big on that.
Yeah, that was up in Denton for the Tuesday Night Fights of Soul Calibur, I
Soul
think.
Calibur, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Free play, free play radio. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully, when this all blows over, we can do it again. Even if we have to do Soul Calibur again. That was a lot of fun to do.
It
Being 1930s radio broadcaster explaining what's happening in a fighting game.
Yes, yes. I had a lot of fun doing it. We actually streamed that on Twitch. Um, I I love making lemonade out of lemons. Life gives you lemons. You make lemonade. I love that challenge. So two of my more proudest moments while working at Free Play was the rock paper scissors tournament. Were you there that night?
I've heard stories about it. I
Yeah.
was not there that night. It was
Yeah, power goes out. I don't waste any time. It was a Tuesday night fights where during spring series where I was not supposed to play, or sorry, we were not supposed to have Tuesday night fights, but I had the belt on me as I frequently do. It's over there right now. Um, so it's Tuesday. The power goes out during a storm during spring, and I'm like, well, okay. And then we just did a impromptu grab a flashlight Tuesday night fights, paper rock scissors, and literally no one left the house. Everybody played. It was like 45 entrants or something like that. So that was a proud moment for me. And then the other one was this Soul Calibur tournament that you were a part of, where the stream went down. Like we had direct feed we had streamed it via direct feed 2 times previously, but the same equipment wasn't brought this third time for Soul Calibur, and Arthur was ready to scrap the stream entirely, and I kind of had a show must go on mentality for it. Plus, I had an inkling of what we could do. I tossed you the headset, and I grabbed it, and I got Josh Featherstone on the phone, and he very, very quickly cobbled together a black and white single card that just had old timey radio free play broadcast on it. Had Soul Calibur in an old timey type graphic. That was the static image on screen, and then you and me just whipped out our best American Standard voices from the 1930s. And called the whole thing. I remember delighting at the confusion in the Twitch comments, like, "Are you guys making this up? What's happening?" No, we were live commentating the whole thing.
yeah, we were roughly like 6 to 8 inches behind the people, trying to like look over people's shoulders or
Yes,
try to find any vantage point we could to see what was happening,
yes, and
and
we were
just
obnoxiously loud too.
yeah, yeah, and I think at one point we didn't have anybody else that wanted to jump on, so it was. I remember myself hopping on with the headset on, doing this this ridiculous 30s broadcaster voice while also trying to play. I did not know what I was doing. I have not I've did not I had never played Soul Calibur until before then. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep pressing this button and let's just hope it works. And all the while I'm doing this really obnoxious 1930s broadcaster voice, just like this voice I'm doing right here. It was a wonderful night. It was a wonderful night.
Yeah, it was indeed a lot of fun. Looks like we're running into 4:30, so
Yeah.
it's on to Free Play Arcade Jeopardy. But thank you for joining us, Ethan. And Ethan, also, you're welcome to join us at any time. The special guests on stream is always open. I appreciate talking to you.
I'm
I know.
I'm definitely behind if you need more talking time.
Oh well, then we have a few more minutes, Ethan. But I'll keep telling you that if you wanna be on with us more, I would love to have you more. Like if you ever see me just sort of talking to myself, that is not my preferred state of being. So grab that microphone and jump in with us.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Depending, I was gonna say, I can hop on later tonight because it's tonight. Yeah, tonight's Monday. Tonight's Pinballers night, right?
Yeah, you're certainly
Yeah,
welcome to join us with
yeah,
your thoughts on pinballers too. We can have you as a
yeah.
special guest.
That
Um,
sounds.
yeah, we got tonight. We have pinballers, and then we have things. Oh, everybody's
We
correct in the
you
chat.
almost
So,
forgot.
yeah, we do need those extra minutes after all. So we need 3 questions with Penelope, as
Okay.
always. So I'll pull them up. We all know where it's going, but let's see how we get there. All right, let's see here. What do I want to ask Ethan Wade?
I'm genuinely curious because I haven't watched any of the other inductees interviews because I didn't want to like be. This is
You
gonna
know,
sound weird, but I didn't want to be prepared of like any questions you might ask me, which is really weird to ask. But
gotcha. Well, you can hold a conversation, so it's not. It's
yeah,
I don't really have to think too much about asking you things.
yeah.
Um, let's see. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was little, of all things, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I
Archaeologist, like,
loved I loved dinosaurs as a kid. I always loved going to like the museums and seeing like dinosaur fossils and stuff like that. They always really interested me. Kind of as a follow up to that, my favorite dinosaur was a Stegosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it turns out that Stegosaurus had like the brain of like the size of a peanut or something like that. I don't care. The thing had like giant scales that came out of its back and had a spiked tail. That thing was awesome as a 6-year-old me.
I hear they're feathers, right? Those things are supposed to have feathers, dinosaurs?
I, maybe I, I
You
don't
might
know. I'm
look
not.
into that. I think conventional wisdom has them more bird-like. The reptilian appearances was more for Hollywood. Um, and also, so not the Dr. Indiana Jones type of archaeologist, a more by the book archaeologist.
Yeah, I,
Okay.
I guess I guess it, I guess it would I guess it technically would have been a paleontologist. Technically,
Yes, yes.
yeah. I'm getting my ologists out of order.
Yeah. Either way, you'd be required to wear a fedora, right?
Absolutely, it's absolutely required.
All right. More Penelope's questions. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say or do?
Jeez.
Do the floss
Uh,
dance?
no,
Oh.
no, 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 no. I'm too old for that. No, nobody wants to see me doing that.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Chat, let us know. Need Ethan flossing.
Y'all don't want to see that. I promise y'all don't want to see that.
Get some
I'd
jiggle
probably
going in
just
here.
well, in that case, if I really wanted to go all out, I'd take my shirt off,
Now we're
start doing that.
talking.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 30 seconds, why not? No, I'd probably just say like, be excellent people to each other. Stop fighting so much. Love one another. That kind of stuff. And I don't know, probably end off with like play more pinball or something like that, or support free play arcade.
Be excellent to each other. That's very Bill and Ted of you. Do you watch that movie? Do you like that movie?
I I actually have never seen it.
See, I thought you
I
might.
just know those
I
quotes.
thought you might see that. Say that. We should watch. Are you down for a impromptu movie review next week on Bill and Ted?
If I have a way to watch Bill and Ted in the next week, sure.
You have do you have streaming services that all of us seem to be confined to?
Uh, more or less, yeah. I don't know if it's on Netflix or if it's on. I
Let's
imagine it's
pretend that
on.
you can see it in the next week. What's your work schedule like?
I'm off Sunday through Tuesday, so
Sunday through Tuesday. Hmm.
yeah.
Sunday through Tuesday. Looking. Well, I see this game Streets of Rage 4 that's going to be keeping me up my attention next Tuesday. So there's that. Um, Tell you what, we got the kids tournament happening at let's look at Monday, Sunday, sometime.
Yeah.
See if you can watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure before then, because you've never seen it. I'd also like one other person to volunteer who could maybe do it and talk about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure because you've never seen it yet you're quoting it, so you should probably see it. It's great.
I,
Or
I
well, it's
I can do
great
that.
slash ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
I can do that.
Yeah. All right, Josh, do you need any more time? Because I have tons more questions from Penelope, if need be. We could go 60 deep with these Penelope questions.
Let's do it.
What's your
Wait,
favorite
I don't
book
have
or
anything else
movie
to do.
genre?
Favorite book or movie genre?
By the way, Bill and Ted on Hulu. So there you go.
Cool, excellent. I'm slightly partial to this, maybe because I grew up as an impressionable kid, watching this genre, but
Mhm.
I've always loved sci-fi and fantasy, like Star Wars. I grew up watching Star Wars as a kid. When I was like 9 or 10, the Lord of the Rings series, the Lord of the Rings trilogy came out like in the span of like 3 years. All three movies came out, and I went to go see all three of those in theaters. Uh, the first one kind of went over my head because I was like 9 years old at the time. But uh, yeah, I've gone back and watched them all, and they're so good. They're excellent movies. If you haven't somehow have not seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I
Beltran hasn't.
you're kidding me.
He hasn't seen much of anything. He just does his DJ gigs and buys the next version
Yeah,
of the Jordan shoes.
yeah. Being a celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
takes a toll.
He has people text him reviews so that he can pare it back.
I lost my mic for some reason.
Oh, you lost your mic?
Yeah, I had to disconnect and reconnect. Yeah, give me till like 5.
5? Okay.
All right. Yeah.
We can vamp.
We can
We
do
got
that.
more questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Lay 'em
All
on
right.
me.
Let's see. Cats or dogs?
Both.
Both.
I grew up. Yeah. I grew up having dogs. I currently have 2 cats. So yeah, I love animals. I couldn't say no to cats or dogs.
Favorite Nintendo character?
Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. This is a gimme. This is a generic one, but I'm gonna say Mario. You know, I love Mario games. I
Do
love
you like
Mario platformers.
racist caricatures of Italian Americans?
Hey man, it was a different time.
I'm just throwing it at your head.
Different time back then.
Yes, it is Pika's bath time. It's always Pika's bath time or nap time. Favorite type of weather?
Uh, I like. I would say like overcast weather. Where it's like 60 degrees outside and it's cloudy and it's just nice and still. It's not too cold, not too hot. I like that kind of weather.
I'm with you. Something about that overcast weather gives me energy. I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like running outside, but I do feel like I can, I don't know, play Super Turbo into infinity.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fruit?
Hmm. It's favorite fruits. I would have to say I'd say oranges.
That,
Oranges are a top tier fruit for me.
no, that's incorrect. The proper answer is banana because it's for 5,000 points. We'd also accept the answer key.
that, that doesn't sound like a very healthy fruit.
I mean, I don't know. Everything was taught to me by video games, so.
That's fair. That's
Mm-hmm.
fair.
Do you have any cats or dogs now? Do they any pets?
Yeah, I have 2 cats. I got a gray tabby that my wife and I adopted back when we were actually living in Denton at the time. We adopted our 2 cats. The first cat we got was a little gray tabby. His name's Brutus,
Mm-hmm.
and he is if you ever meet my cat, he is. We always joke that he was a dog reincarnated into a cat's body because he's about the cuddliest, get up and cuddle with you and lay on your lap cat that I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I love him. And
That's my favorite type of cat right there. The cuddle monster cats.
yeah, and our other cat Josie, who's actually sitting over here on my bedroom windowsill, just kind of sunbathing.
Mm-hmm.
She's a calico, and she's about what you would think of, a standard cat. She doesn't like to get pet. She likes to just be by herself. She'll meow at you when she's hungry, and that's about it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've literally been petting this cat right here for like 3 hours straight on stream. So some of them don't mind.
That's true. That's fair.
What else we got? Questions from Penelope.
I was
What's
gonna
your
say, Chad, if you have questions for me, I mean, now's the time. If you got those burning questions you've always wanted to know about me.
Vietnamese, Thai, or Japanese food?
I've never had Vietnamese, so I'm gonna
Have
have
you
to
ever
say
been to
Japanese.
Freeplay Richardson? Holy cow!
I've never been to
We're
any
the
other
we're the
places like.
place that has we're the place that has flatbread pizzas and paninis like sandwiches amidst a sea of Japanese food.
Huh.
I'm
I,
sorry,
I've
Vietnamese food. Vietnamese food.
I've actually never been to any of the surrounding places around
That's a good
around
answer. That's a good
Richardson.
answer. You eat more of Carlos's kitchen food. That's the way to go.
All right, I'll do that.
Noun proper would like to know what's your favorite Dalsum normal?
Ooh, it's I would say it's a tie between standing roundhouse
Hmm.
and command command medium. Yeah, command medium. The yoga upper, or is that command?
Yeah, it's, command strong. Command strong.
Yeah,
That's
command
one. Yeah.
strong. Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yoga upper and standing roundhouse.
I thought you were going to give me Boat Guy's favorite Dalsum normal, crouch command medium kick.
That's a close second. But I'm always of the belief of if someone is that close to me playing Dalsim, I have not done my job keeping you away from me.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hmm. Um, just jumping around here on Penelope's questions. There's so many insane ones. Here, let me ask one of her insane ones. If you could change the color of something on your face, what would you change?
Ooh. Uh,
That's so insane. I love it, Penelope.
would man, that's a good one.
Right?
I'd probably change.
It's oddly specific.
That is very oddly specific. Uh, I'd probably change my hair color to. I guess that's technically on my face. I'd change it to like a slightly darker shade of brown.
Okay.
Because my hair is like this weird like it's like a mix of like dark and light, and it kind of just turns into this shade of like it's a weird shade of brown that it's weird to explain, but yeah, that's probably what I would change because I like my eye color and I can't think of anything else. That's a like you said, it's an oddly specific question, Penelope.
Penelope's got a retort. Mine is to change my tongue to bright green.
Hey, you know what? I didn't even think of that. That's a good answer.
Noun proper. What's the best ST stage?
Uh, I'd say Ken Stage, just because I like Ken Stage music.
Yes, Mighty Wings. That music is so good. Yeah, you're not wrong. You know what? You may have talked me into it. I think Kin Stage is probably my favorite too.
Lego, if it was Guile Stage, if it was CPS 1 Guile Stage, then yes. But CPS 2, just doesn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah, I
You did see the people in the background on the left side of that stage, right? There's
I
some
mean
actioning happening there that we can't really discuss before 9:30.
I mean that's true, but I mean I'm not focused on that. Like if I'm playing a stage, what matters for me is the music. And I don't know, there's something about, like Super Street Fighter 2 and ST, like the some of the music tracks are really good and some of them are just not. And I would say that Giles is one of them. It's just it doesn't have that same kind of
Wow,
oomph
hating on
that
Guile theme. This is hot sports opinions
I'm
here.
gonna be specific. Super Turbo CPS 2 Guile stage.
Okay.
Now CPS 1 like World Warrior and Champion Edition, perfect.
Hmm.
But CPS 2 it just doesn't do it for me.
Gotcha. Um, the I when I play ST, I like to play on Zangief stage, even though that's a hot take as well because I like the game faster. Same reasoning behind liking Ms. Pac-Man. It's not a relative difficulty thing. I just like to play the games faster. I get bored from long pinball tables. I like games that just play quicker. I like
Yeah.
having to try and control it. Control the uncontrollable. The Dawson way.
Yeah.
Uh, More odd ones. What's your favorite bug?
I'm I'm not a very big insect person. Fun fact about me, I am a deathly afraid of spiders, so I don't like insects or arachnids or anything like that. If I had a choice, uh, I don't know, like I don't know, beetles are cool. I'm not a fan of them, but they look cool.
Hmm. Ladybugs don't look bad.
Like I'm not a big fan of things that like can crawl on me and stuff like that. That just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Mm.
Ugh.
You ever see King Kong? The
Which one?
the
Peter Jackson?
yes, the Peter Jackson one.
I have not.
Oh man, I have a story about that movie that you need to have seen the movie before. Probably best because it does involve a bug. All right,
Oh,
someone else can get on this show and remind me to tell that story, and I will. Hmm. Penelope, thank you for all these questions. By the way, these are fantastic. See, I feel like you would probably answer this one, but a lot of people like can't. You have to like this is pulling teeth. I think this is a pulling teeth for everybody, but what's your favorite thing about yourself?
ooh, man.
This is really a personality type question too,
Yeah,
because there's some people who just like cannot like they physically cannot say it, no matter what it is or isn't. They just can't do it.
this this is gonna sound this might sound a little conceited, but I feel that I feel like I have a kind personality. I feel that I like that I'm kind to people. I'm not a jerk. I don't like being jerks to people. That's it's just not in my nature. I like being kind to people. That's just that's how I was raised. That's how I was taught to just be kind to people, that kind of stuff. So I feel that like that's one of the things that I like about myself. I'm kind to people.
Ethan Wade, accurate.
Ah,
Let's see here. Alrighty. They wanna. I wanna take a 10-minute break before we actually hit the 5 o'clock
yeah, that's
thing.
fine.
So I'm gonna throw it up to. I can either leave you here to field random questions for the audience, or I can throw up
Yeah,
the
I can
graphic.
do that. I
All
can
right.
do that.
Well, in that case, I got rapid fire 3 more. Favorite candy?
Favorite candy. Go ahead and say Reese's peanut butter cups.
Those are delicious. Favorite? Oh, are you ticklish?
Yes, very.
And of course, the last one. What's your favorite color?
Uh, gonna say blue.
What type of blue? Do you know?
Oh, we're getting specific.
I mean,
Navy blue.
this is going in her research paper. So,
Uh, Navy blue.
Lego, you have the. Please feel free. I'm going to take a 10-minute break, but the floor is yours, Ethan. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Hall of Famer Ethan Wade, and yeah, I can't wait to hang out with you more during this.
Thank you for having me.
Ah, all right, I'll be back. You guys have fun. Free play Arcade Jeopardy. The Tournament of Champions starts at 5 o'clock. Be right back.
All right, chat. Just you and me. If you got any questions, uh, noun, favorite Marvel character. Are we talking comic characters? Or are we talking MCU like film characters? Because comic books, I would say Spider-Man. I know that's really weird considering that I don't like spiders in general, but I like Spider-Man.